If I move over here, I have the other cells being worked on here too to expand the supermax, and then I'm also getting the death row cells in place, and I've marked them for death row now. I thought maybe that was the reason why I wasn't allowed to bring them in, is because I didn't have them marked as death row. So you know, I did that, and it still says unavailable, but I feel like maybe that'll change. So we'll see. Okay, danger's rising. 100 prisoners have unnecessarily been searched recently. Well, you know, I mean, I search you every time you kick off. Maybe it'll reduce the danger if I don't search them every time they destroy something or whatever. Maybe I don't search them if they destroy. If they're attacking prisoners, you'd think if they had a weapon, they would use it. So it'd be obvious that they have it. Maybe if it's attack, maybe serious injury, we don't necessarily need to search. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how to go about the search thing, because if you have everybody's being searched unnecessarily, it means they don't have anything on them. And if I'm searching them, any infraction they get searched. I mean, I guess don't kick off then. Don't have infractions. But I think on destruction, I'll let it go. And intoxication, they most likely have booze on them. When I find tools, of course, like, they're going to get searched because I've already found the stuff, right? So I'm not sure it's worth searching them for a found drugs offense, since you don't get this offense unless you've already been searched, right? So produce narcotics, yeah, and we're obviously searching their cell for any more afterwards too. So I think I can probably let those things go. Because if they do one of these, like, let's say I find weapons on them. Well, I found weapons on them because there was a reason to search them, right? So do we need to search them again? Probably not. But I'll search their cell to see if they have any more. That makes sense. If you murder somebody, yeah, whatever. I don't care about your happiness at that point. Intoxication, you probably have it on you or in your cell. So we'll probably do that, I guess. And then I think any violent attempts here is anything violence is yes. Escape attempts, you probably have the rope on you, that kind of thing. So I'll go a little bit more lenient on the searching, because I feel like if I find drugs on you, that was the search. Searching you again makes no sense. So yeah, I think that's probably fine. We'll see if that number goes down. The number of people that have been unnecessarily searched recently. We'll see if that goes down. Try to get that temperature down a little bit, because we're gonna have to start managing that temperature. Because now we're in the territory where we could start potentially seeing riots. And I don't really want to see that. And the other thing I didn't think about very well, and I would go back and change, is I would probably have my maximum security closer to the road. Seems weird, but that means that my riot police can respond faster. If I have riot police, which if there is a riot, the riot police will automatically be called anyway because of my insurance program. So I'll have the maximum responsiveness, I guess, the quickest response I could get. And they'll come in right away, but they're going to have to walk through, you know, a lot of territory here. Maybe the riot will happen in the canteen and we'll get lucky on, you know, their pathing. But if it happens back in their cells and stuff, it's going to be quite the trek for the team to have to do. So I didn't think about that, but you know, it's all right. Maybe we'll just have an environment where we never have any riots. You know, it's possible. It's possible. Still at 51.5 days without an incident. It's kind of nuts. I feel like prisoner deaths should be counted as an incident. Staff deaths, I think, should be counted as an incident, and I don't think it's not really counting them. So I don't know. Yeah, first aid training. I don't want to do any training programs for my new staff because a lot of my workers are temporary. So as soon as this work here is done, then I will fire the remaining workers. Or not the remaining one, the new workers that I just hired. I'll fire them because they're temporary for that project. And then I don't know, we'll let the balance go up a little bit more. I have almost harvested enough peaches. I need to harvest the bananas and the carrots. They'll get that taken care of. This still hasn't passed. Still crossing my fingers. I'd like to see that program, actually. What time does that program go? Prisoner programs. Let's take a watch that for a little bit. So this 3 strikes program starts at 2 p.m. There are 2 there's 2 people in the second session, 3 people in the first. If I click you, you see how 3 strikes now has a success chance, right? That's what that mod is doing. It's letting the success chance build over time to where this program didn't used to do that. And it's something that Paradox just decided never to fix, because that's what they do sometimes. They leave games broken. The simple things just get left, and I don't know. I don't like it, but it is what it is. It's I think it's one of those things where if you fix one thing, maybe you break other things, and you're just going to be persistently supporting the game. Which I admit, in my opinion, you can't forever support a game. There has to be a cutoff point, because maybe you're not selling enough. Maybe the game is just like this. In this case, the game is very old. At what point do you say, okay, that game's very old, let's put our power, let's put this research, the resources, whatever, I can't speak now, man, put our development time, put our development resources into new things, or into supporting newer things, at least newer than a decade. Okay. It gets to the point where it's a very old game, then I understand. If you're dropping support for your game after like 2 or 3 years, that's a problem. But Paradox has games where they're still supporting them, and they are very, like Stellaris, for example, it's very old. And there's Hearts of Iron 4. I don't play these games, so for all I know, Hearts of Iron 4 support's gone. But yeah, either way, I'm not sure how they weigh which games they support and which games they don't. But this one here, holy moly, why is nobody being taken to their cells, you guys? Do we need more guards? I'm gonna go more than 180. Yikes, this is expensive. We're gonna go to 190. Fine. 190 guards who are not on break. Can you please take all these people to their cells? They've been sitting here for almost 12 hours at this point. They need to be processed, taken to their cells. Yes, because they're gonna start getting statuses that are not suppressed. They're gonna start being very hungry. I should know everything about them, right? Yeah, because I've already done that. Okay, so ex-law enforcement, this guy. We should put you, make sure you're the right one. Yep. Put you in protective. And then, of course, you don't get processed to the other cells in that wing. You get processed into that, hopefully. You're getting targeted. Well, you're in protective custody already. This is what I'm talking about. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know what would be helpful, though, is to have guards, like, actually in here. Because I don't have any guards in here. I do have the sniper. And he is targeting. He's locked on. He's saying, hey, stop it right now. There you go. Nice shot, buddy. Yeah, seriously, come on now. Got more trouble through here. I got lots of guards in this area now. At least I should. Better double check that. Yeah, I got a lot of guards that are stationed in this area. And that's in addition to all the patrols. I got, all through this walkway, there are people on patrols. At least they're supposed to be. I guess there's only a few actually on there, but there's supposed to be more. I guess maybe the breaks. What's staff needs look like right now? Staff needs isn't too bad. I've only got half my guards on break, though. I don't really want to bring that up anymore. I could probably go a little higher on the cooks. I want to go a little lower on the workmen, because I want them to get their shit done. And then guards. Yeah, let's make sure your guards aren't pissed off. We'll go 50% still. I think that's... I know it's only a 1% increase, but it's something. We'll give them a little bit more. I don't want them pissed off, because then they start killing people for no reason. How are we doing down here? Are we still in winter? We are. Okay, so this needs to be connected. Not sure why that never got connected, but let's finish that off if we can, please. And the other little pipes here too. We'll go a different direction with you, I guess. Now, it seems a little weird to do it that way, but sure. And then down here would be hot water. This is all hooked up now for these guys. Let's make sure we insulate it. And so I've given them chest tables. I'm giving them chairs in here. I'm giving them radios. And then now I can give them the sinks and mirrors, because I've also moved the light to where it's not here anymore. It's over here. So now I can give them the sinks, and then those sinks, of course, will require additional hookups for water like so. Okay. Seems good. Yes, lots to do. Still lots to do. I'm going to try to get back into having these videos more regularly. You guys probably noticed that I spent like a week doing nothing but Hollywood Animal. That game's kind of, you know, that's my game right now. So I kind of put a lot more time into that one. But now I'm going to start trying to spread it out a little bit. I like to do that with series. I tend to hit them really hard at the very beginning and make sure I get like a dozen videos out, you know, really quickly. And that way, when people discover it, they have something to really build up into, right? And then after that, we kind of go down to about one a day. And then if the game starts to get to where it takes a long time to make videos, then maybe I do one every other day. You know, it's all about how long it takes to produce the content for it is really all it is. And, you know, Prison Architect is cool. Just takes a little bit of time. Let's go with... I can't believe these aren't installed yet. What's going on with these CCTV cameras, you guys? Come on. Get them in there. Get them installed. I want to see... I want to have eyes in here. At all times. Searching toilets is just not working. Aha! I just kept seeing these flags and I'm like, dude, what the hell? Searching toilets not working. Taking toilets apart. That does it. That does the trick. Pop that back in. Let's get all those tunnels. There we go. All right, cool. Got that done. I think maybe I haven't seen any flags on the outside, so I don't think these guys are digging. Well, I had this, but yeah, this is actually a while ago. I've just been letting it sit there, so that's my bad. But I haven't been seeing any flags around here, so they just happened to search a cell and found it before. And yeah, all the prisoners that were here, they've been processed now. That's good. For staff needs, we went ahead and got, now I'll put them back to like maybe 48%. Workmen, I could take them down even more if I want more of them to work. Put your backs into it. I'll let them rest. It's fine. So I actually hired a few more people, and we're up to 200 guards now. Yikes. I might hire a couple more janitors. As we get more prisoners, we're probably going to want more people around to clean regularly and do laundry regularly. But, you know, the laundry rooms and stuff are staffed with prison labor. And so far, it doesn't seem like anyone is super upset about it. If I take a look at prisoner needs, the hygiene need is the biggest one. And that's usually because they're sleeping. So they're going to wake up and shower here at 4 o'clock. And then this need will go down. Well, at least they're supposed to be. Excuse me? Oh, they do eat lockup. Oh, that's why they're so pissed off all the time through here. I've got this messed up. Okay, so we're going to change this a little bit. I want them to go to a sleep period, I think, like right here. And I think their final eat time, I might make that shorter. But what I want to do is you got to make sure this exists. So they can get done with, you know, bowels and bladder and all that stuff right away without having to have this happen all the time. Because I think that's their primary complaint is their hygiene and stuff. They just feel gross or whatever, and then they kick off when they get near each other because it's opportunity, right? And they can do that. So this is the other reason why you put showers and stuff inside the canteens, and, you know, let them be able to take a shower in here if they want. Real quick, let me go through. See, the water goes through here, and this is actually a hot water pipe already, which is nice. Let's insulate this one. And then right along this wall, it looks like it won't be much of an issue to just go ahead and put like a few showers in here. Just a few, you know, if they want to buddy up with each other right here, they can do that. And it won't matter too much. There will be a need for some regular water pipes there too, so it's not just hot water. Otherwise, seems good. Howl, you're not supposed to be here, buddy. Bring you over here. You should be in this area. Capacity is 40 out of 40, so you should be moved over there, but you have to do it manually, unfortunately, because like they don't get taken to their cells or dormitory if there's no way for them to just walk there themselves. I'm not sure what's up with that as far as like what's going on in the game for that, but like they don't seem to get escorted to their cells unless there's a clear path for them to walk themselves there. It's very strange. Maybe it's just a... I don't know. Maybe it's just a bug happening for me and not anyone else. I don't know. Let's get that toilet back in there if we could, please. That could be another problem. Another issue is that because the cell is invalidated, he doesn't have a cell available because it's max capacity. So he goes in a holding cell. So that makes sense too. It's just that he has a, escort to dormitory task right here. And he's not allowed to eat in here. He's not allowed to do any of this stuff in here. So like he has to be brought to that dormitory in order to eat. So I think what I'm trying to say is it's time for me to move this right now. Okay. It's time. It's happening. So I'm going to take, and we're going to move, let's say probably up like this. And I'm going to let them walk through here if they can. So I'm going to have this be about here. Maybe like that. This covers that whole area, right? Yeah. So we'll have this whole area will turn into our yard. It's a little bigger yard. And then we'll move all this stuff over here. And then this area just gets expanded with more cells. That'll be the task that I'm trying to do here. And maybe I can turn it into several dormitories, but in general, I don't want these guys to bunk up together, because if you have dangerous people that want to kill each other, even though they're, you have an ex-gang member, but you have a current gang member who just happens to be a snitch, that's a problem, right? So I want to be able to say permanent lockdown on one of these guys maybe, and keep them apart from everybody. You can't do that if their lockdown is in the same cell. I suppose they'll be in binds, though they'll be in shackles, so maybe they won't be quite as dangerous with that happening, So you see how some of these guys are in lockdown, and I want to say, like, one of them has one of them is in permanent lockdown. I just gotta figure out which one it is. Not Zimmerman. You doing some gang business down here? Howell? He's like calling people over here. Let's see what his stats are. He's a recruiter. Enforce. All right, so you know what? I'm going to take him. I'm going to put him in lockdown permanent. If you're a person who's going to prompt gang activity, I'm going to put you in permanent lockdown. That way they can't organize anything, That's the idea behind it anyway. You got a lot of gang members, but if they can't do any gang business, so they're not going to do any graffiti or take over territories or anything like that, then they're going to be a lot less of a pain in my ass, because then I have to remove the graffiti and then they'll get pissed about it. Like right now, nobody's upset about the removal of graffiti. That's helping a lot with the temperature, because that was a problem for a while. I kept having to, take the graffiti out of the Fight Club rooms and all that stuff. And now I've got guards in there all the time, so they can't mark the territory. I've got more guards in the common room, so they can't mark the territory. Lots of guards in the kitchen. They can't mark the territory. Just doing that over and over again is going to help. But I think anyone who's going to organize the gang activity, they got that icon above their head and stuff. If that's them, permanent lockdown for you is what I'm going to say. Get some more notebook pages. That's cool. I think I want to move the yard. For these guys, Supermax yard, I think I want to put it right here. And then what I'm thinking about doing is... or I could do it right here. What I'm thinking about doing is getting a yard that they share, that's outside, of course, for the snipers to see. But then also, I want their canteen to be closer to this kitchen. This takes a long time to move down here. I mean, granted, right now, we finally built up a supply at least here. So it's not that big of a deal. But I think I want to move it, because eventually I might need... Just trying to look over here because there's an alert telling me that I have to. Because, we might need to... use this area for more cells in the future, is what I'm thinking. And then I'd really like to get I know it's probably not a big deal, but I kind of want to get flower therapy going, and I'm thinking about this area right here. Because like the only program I haven't done yet is flower therapy. If I was going to do flower therapy, what is the room that I require for this? I don't think I've ever really spent any time on that. So this is $150 per session. Led by a gardener in a flower garden, and it's 2 hours long. It could be basically anywhere, so I don't have to put it in the yard. I could put it somewhere else, but it needs to be a place where a lot of people can access it. I don't have a lot of outdoor areas where they could access it, so I'm thinking maybe I turned this into a flower garden, And then it could just be like, this is a really nice yard, but then also flower garden. It's kind of what I'm thinking of here. Yeah, I think the issue might come when I try to split the yard, because then I don't know if the yard is going to be... I guess we'll find out. If I do this... If I do this, that's still fine, right? That's... Everything is intact here. I could then take these benches, which they're going to want to keep anyway. I'm going to put these benches and move them somewhere else. So we'll put them... I don't really want to put it along the track. We'll put it like right here. That's fine. Probably want to take some of these benches and just get rid of them maybe. I don't know. We'll put one right here. And this one's not moved yet. We'll put this one over here like that. Sure. That's fine. And then these two benches here, we'll move them over somewhere else too. We'll say we want to move it all the way over here. We'll put this inside this yard. Although, again, I might change that this is a yard. Like, I might change that. So I'll sit them over here for now, like on the outside. And then just stick it all the way over here. And we'll turn this into the flower garden. So flower garden. And it'll just be maybe this little area right here. And then we'll get like a little walking path around that. So we could say, like the stone. We could say that the stone goes all the way around the outside of the flower garden. So something like this, right? I think it's like this. Yeah. This is still the yard. I think. Yeah, this is where the yard cuts off. So flower garden will end up being here. Okay, we'll take the lamp post thing here. We'll move this over somewhere else. We'll say this is located here, let's say. It's a pretty good spot for it, actually, because then you could work out when it's dark and it just illuminates the whole area. So I like that, too. That works for me. And then in the flower garden, I mean, what do we even do for that? I guess we take it's been so long since I've even done anything with flowers. So I assume it's the same as, yeah, here it is. Colorful flowers. Mixed begonias. Rose bushes. Sunflowers. Yeah, so we'll have some rose bushes. Let's say we'll have like, I don't know, maybe a little section of rose bushes here. And then we could say the sunflowers are maybe this little area right here. 3x3 seems good. We'll have a little walking path between them all and everything. It's not letting me do it here. I wonder if that just needs to be changed to a different type of flooring. I bet I need it to be dirt. I actually don't know. Does dirt work for this? Or, I mean, it looks like grass works for this. Maybe it has to be grass. Hold on. Can I plant flowers over here? Yep, you'll let me do it. So something about that spot it doesn't want to let me do. You know, I bet it's because of the bench. It has to be fully placed in its new location before this becomes available. I wonder if that's a thing. I have to wait for it to become fully available. So we can put this here, and then I just have to wait for that bench to get moved. That can't be it, though. Nah, I don't think that's it. Because I've been able to replace that before, like right away. I'm going to change this to dirt. I think that's just like a little spot that it won't let me plant on. And then we'll go over and do the same with some of these other ones. We'll say mixed begonias. Okay. I know, like, essentially nothing about flowers, so for all I know, these are really generic and there's nothing special about them, but the name makes me think there's something special about them. Okay, so there's like 9 of each one. I think that's fine. We have a little space over here that's available, and we could, I don't know, maybe put some flamingos, and we could make this into like a little, you know, I don't know, a little bench and stuff where they could hang out. I don't know if a shed is required for this room. Flower garden is a shed? No, it just needs to be outdoors. Okay. That's good. And then we'll have the stone, right? It's going to go between them. Kind of like that. And like that. And like that. Cool. And then we can have our flower therapy and start using that. Hopefully they'll calm down and stop kicking off just by the nature of seeing flowers. They'll be like, wow, these are really pretty. You know, if I was free, I'd be able to see these more often. Maybe I'll behave now. You think that'll work? Not for Johnson. I'm not sure it'll work for Hurricane Whiplash Johnson. 60 years old. Sick and tired of always being overlooked, so he decided to put this to an end. Went up to his mother-in-law's and promptly began to strangle her while repeatedly saying, "Hush, hush." They found him drunk with power and a deep lust for blood. Well, he's been sentenced to 17 years because of false imprisonment, I guess. Perjury and kidnapping. I guess. He has an ex-wife. That makes sense. Anyone who's decided to adopt the name Hurricane Whiplash Johnson. That seems like ex-husband material right there. Builders don't seem to want to finish this building. It's got half of it done, but like this other half is just not completed yet, and it's lingering for some reason. I'm not sure why. You got Murray in here doing his thing. 19 years left in his sentence. He's gonna get some time in solitary now, maybe to think about what he's done. And there we go. I think overall, though, it's starting to calm down. I know there seems to be a lot of radios going off and some tasers going off and everything. That's pretty normal, actually. It's as far as like how many fights we've had today and everything, it's been pretty mild. It might have something to do with like specific people having these permanent lockdown. So I'm hoping that that's actually helping quite a bit. I had a couple of prisoners turn criminally insane. So we're up to 88 in here now after, you know, people have been released and stuff too. That happens. And I'm trying to get them to complete this building, and it's just not quite happening yet. It's like there's still some stuff to go on right here. Ah, there we go. Ah! Okay, well, that's what I wanted, but also not what I wanted. So hang on. Let's get that concrete wall put back right there. And then that should take care of everything, except now these guys can wander, and we definitely don't want that. So real quick, we're going to go to... not staff only. We're gonna go to an empty room. Yep, because they're gonna just any real empty room that covers this entire area, please. Yep. I need to make sure that's staff only so they don't go wandering that way. Okay, so we need this put in like ASAP. So I'm hopefully they get on that really quickly. And then again, are we doing? What are you doing here? Cop killer. Oh boy. Yeah. So 97% on you, man. I don't really want to put you in protective custody. That's like the worst place for you, honestly. I think for cop killers, we just say, well, they did something. Pay the price. It's pretty much what I'm going to do. I think for them, because like cop killers are weird because like I'm trying to protect them from my guards. I can't put them in like an ideal world, I suppose, would be to put them in like a permanent lockdown situation. They're less likely to kick off, but then all they're going to do is, you know, damage their own property, damage the stuff in their cell, and then the guards will come in. And now we've got like a private area where you can just beat the shit out of them. So I don't really want that to happen either. And then maybe another way to do it would be to, I can't do this, but like I put them in the criminally insane wing. And then that way they're surrounded by orderlies, not guards. And so maybe that would be how you protect them from that. But I don't really know, man. I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to get put back in. And then we can start in expanding this area out and getting cells in here. And then hopefully that will give us the... Oh boy. Give us the space for the low security so they can come in and work in these shops, giving people luxuries. And then I think maybe because of this, actually the way this is built right here, it kind of gives me the opportunity to put a shop here so that these guys could get some luxuries, because they're not going to have any luxuries either. But that could help them in calming them down, because I would much rather they get the magazine that they want than to get upset that they don't have the magazine, kick off, and then potentially kill a guard or have to keep getting punished over and over again, right? So like, I don't really want that to be a thing either. So maybe we'll redraw the lines here really quick. We'll keep this line because that's where the wall is, but the shop could be maybe here. So maybe I get rid of these lines and this could be a shop. There's a minimum size, right? 4x4. Okay, so this has to go out just a little bit more. But I left room, so this could be okay. If I take the planning lines off of this, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I go wall like this, maybe just to here. It doesn't even need to be that big, right? It could be small. 4x4 is what it says. So 1, 2, 3, 4 wall could just be here. Maybe I go one more just to get a little bit bigger shop, but that could just be it. And then the rest of this becomes cells again. Yeah, that works. Yeah. So we could put a little shop here, and then they can also work this shop, which provides luxuries to these guys. I like that. I think that's going to work out well. I do want protective custody to work in here too, like alternating shifts, so that minimum security could also potentially get something here. Now, the other issue I'm going to run into here, though, is that minimum security needs to have a path into here. And so I was going to move this sink and have them walk through here. So that way they don't interfere with this area or this area, but they get into the shop anyway. That's what I was going to do. And I may still do that, but now it requires them to go through this yard, which is another reason why I kind of want Supermax to not, like, maybe eat over here or have a different room over here so that I don't have to have them go through the yard. We'll figure it out. There's space to figure this out. It's not a super hard problem. It's just something that takes a little time to build. With 54,000 left. Hang on, why are you targeted? Why are you being targeted? You don't have a reputation at all. You're actually doing quite well. 16% chance to reoffend. You came in with 71. So why are you being targeted? Maybe I can get you... You don't have any reputation whatsoever. Let me see how you do in minimum. I know that's kind of a free upgrade for you, right? But let's see how you do in minimum. We're going to bring you down. I'm going to bring you down into this other yard. If you're being targeted by these guys, then I can get you away from those guys. Since you have such a low chance to reoffend, I'd really like you to go home and, you know, eventually see your family and become a productive member of society, if that's even possible. So we're working that. Okay, so I have 52,000 now. My workers, my temporary workforce, a little less temporary, but I'm going to have you guys come over here. And you are now going to build, I guess, all of this. That's a lot of foundation, though. Do I want to do all of this right now? 31 grand. That's kind of it, though, right? If I do this, it's just up and open, and now it's ready to go. Let's do a portion of it. I don't have that many prisoners yet, so let's do a portion of it, and then I can expand the wall more. We'll go down to here. We'll go down to here, and that will give me, you know, remaining capital. I'm still, you know, like putting in the electrical lines and stuff like that out into the layout of the cells. And I still want to, you know, build up all these cells too. And I can't really do that if I'm spending all of my construction money on that stuff. So why don't we... Now, here's a problem. These cells don't open up, do they? I would have to move the... I could move these. Yeah. I could make this wall come all the way down, so it's a walkway, and then move these to be, let's say, over here. Yeah. We just move these to where they're a little bit closer to the danger, I suppose. But just out of the way here so I can get this wall out of the way. There. And then we take the foundation. And this building will now be at least this You can just go all the way to here. Yeah. Like that. Now these cells have a walkway and everything, and it's all... I think it's going to look better. Yeah. We could even make this an airlock kind of thing and make this indoors too. But once these are built, I should get... My snipers should be back on their post. Yep, here he comes. Back on his post. There we go. Okay, so I feel like... I feel like we're progressing here. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I've got the flower garden stuff. Seems like it's almost done. I don't know if I need these fully grown before they can start doing the therapy, but we can try it out. So we can come over here to flower therapy. Do that. And we can find it. There's so many things going on at once here. Flower therapy. Where are you at? Right there. Okay, so 9 a.m. to 11. It does work in this building. 93 people interested. I'm going to put 2 sessions on it. See how that works for me. And then we have the 3 strikes program. Right? Who is this? It's this guy working in here. He's a little bit confused. But you have... It's very small chance to succeed, but at least the chances are persisting. So really hoping I see this one accomplished. And then the last grant we'll complete then is cell block E. We're very close to being done with that anyway with 89%. So as we expand to have these cells, I think I will build these cells first before going all the way over to these ones. And then once I build these ones, I can move all of these guys into these cells. And then my medium wing is done. Okay, cool. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.